33-story hotel and condo project.
I'd probably be
Okay,
like
like
that.
stop, tap.
This is a plan by the community for the community.
This one here, show me.
No problem, Ken. Thanks for having me.
It's Kent Molgat for Kelowna Now.
And we're joined by Bill Schuilenberg. Did I got that right?
You got it perfect. Yes.
And Michelle Laboucane from the John Howard Society. Bill, you run the STOP program?
Yes.
And Michelle, you oversee justice services at
Yes.
John Howard?
Absolutely.
So this is a pretty heavy-duty topic, violence within relationships.
Yes.
So are there still relationships out there where there is real violence, like people being hit, or are we talking more on the spectrum of emotional abuse?
Yeah, violence comes in many forms. Like I was mentioning, the word violence means to strike with words. And then we've expanded it to mean striking with your fists or... So violence in a relationship can mean emotional abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, things like gaslighting, things like challenging a person's reality, demeaning people, criticizing them, and then of course being physically violent as well. So yeah, it's quite a broad spectrum.
So this STOP program, STOP standing for Stop,
Taking it out on your partner.
starts May the 2nd.
May the 2nd, next week, yes. So it's a voluntary program for men that want to, if the way they behave in a relationship is destroying it, they need to sign up.
So this is not just for wife beaters or something. This
No.
is for people who think their relationship is in a bad place. I want you to get in on the conversation, Michelle.
Well, we encourage people then, where they feel that, they are taking a controlling role in the relationship and they want to learn how to improve their relationship before it gets to that point where, VRC and P are called because of an assault.
Mm-hmm.
So giving them the tools so that they can build their relationship. And that's the gist of this program.
If someone watching this thinks, hey, that's me, is the program already filled up, or could someone still?
No, it's only half full right now. So
Yes.
you can, go to John Howard Society
Yes.
website.
So it's John Howard, johnhoward.ca, and click on the Okanagan region, or just Google John Howard in Kelowna, and you'll see our website, and you can get a hold of me very easily.
Fact of the matter is, most people who watch this aren't going to sign up for it. So, can you give us like a few tips that people who ways to steer a relationship away from areas that are abusive or kind of violent in that way?
A few tips, okay.
That's the most people are going to get. Like, what's the first step people make to start heading down that wrong path?
They start to believe that their own value is in the hands of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So their self-esteem is triggered or threatened by the way somebody is relating to them. So, if you have a problem with me and I agree with you, then I've got to pick a fight with you. And I've got to prove to you that I am okay. But if I feel okay within myself and you call me a banana, it doesn't bother me, right? And then I can approach that situation with compassion and bravery. Just like Constable Ken Lamb did yesterday in Toronto, that tragedy of
Yes.
with Alec, which is very sad, but Constable Ken Lamb was brave and compassionate because he didn't follow the script that Alec had written for him. He wasn't going to pull the trigger on him because he saw value in that person and had the training to be brave and compassionate at the same time. And that's what our goal is in the STOP program, is to help men take a closer look at who they are inside and develop that and strengthen that self-esteem so that they aren't threatened by other people's thoughts or actions towards them. And then and then also learn compassion. One of the ways we do this is by getting the men together in a group, which is a rare occasion for many men, and to learn about what violence is, what anger is, what communication is, but also to learn what their core beliefs are, where their self-esteem is at, and learn from each other. And another dynamic we bring to it is my wife and I co-facilitate this. And so we've got a super strong relationship. We've been married for 35 years now. And so yeah, we started early, but we know how to do argumentative progress. We know how to work together. We know how to tag team, and we know how to get through even arguments in the presence of other people because we're not threatened by each other. My wife is a fantastic woman. She's super smart. She's can think faster than me, but I'm not intimidated by her. I love her, and she doesn't devalue me by when she's upset with me. So
Michelle, you were saying you've seen this in action, how Bill and his wife can disagree about
Yes.
something, but yet it doesn't flare up into something.
No, absolutely
No.
not.
So how
And they
do
teach
how do they
other-
pull it off?
Well, they treat each other with such respect, and they value each other's voice. Even if they disagree with each other, it's okay. It's okay to
Yeah.
disagree with somebody. And they treat each other with such respect. It's just fantastic. And it's that modeling and that type of relationship, I hope to one day have that, because it's fantastic to watch the two of them together in their interactions. And
Yeah.
that's what we want people to see, is that's how a relationship can be and can look like. It's just fantastic.
One thing I find, if a disagreement is over something like whose fault something was, and you think it's their fault and they think it's your fault, I've learned those are easy ones to just walk away from.
Yeah.
Because
That's
that's
one
a
of the
tough
first
one.
steps.
Because in the moment, it's maybe unlikely that someone, even if they should, is going to admit fault. So, you're fighting a battle with no victory in
Yeah,
sight.
we call that, people get stuck or committed to being right instead of committed to being together,
Yes.
And there's many times when I've known my wife to be wrong, but I just let it go. Because
Yes.
it doesn't matter. Tomorrow, it's about something else,
Yeah. So keeping things
I have
in
no
pers-
idea how many
Yeah.
times she's thought that I was wrong.
I just hope she's not watching this. She's going to wonder what it was she was wrong about that you never mentioned.
Yeah, she felt me. But,
I'm pretty
so-
sure she'd have that conversation.
So it runs for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's on Wednesday nights, we get together for about 2.5 hours. And it's funded by the John Howard Society. They have a grant, and we're actually going to run it again, probably in the fall. And
You've done this before, though.
this is the second time.
What do
here in
you
Kelowna.
see progress with
Absolutely,
these
yeah.
men? It must be
Absolutely.
gratifying
Oh, yeah.
at the end. You
Yeah.
probably start with men that aren't good at maybe expressing themselves.
No, yeah, absolutely.
We, one of the things, we received a letter from one of the gentlemen that went through the program last time. And it was a page-long letter, and it was just, we asked the person, is it okay if we use this letter in our grant application? And he said, absolutely. He goes, the more people that take this program, he goes, the more helpful it will be. And it just, and I mean, most men don't like to communicate in letters, but this was a page-long letter, and just going on about how it had changed him, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah, he was super.
But you see people, a light bulb going on or something, and becoming more
And,
aware.
and one of the advantages is both my wife are therapists, so we bring an added level of listening skills and reflective listening and patience to work with the one individual wherever they get stuck. And so sometimes the session becomes partly and largely in part a focus on one person because they're stuck. But also part of this program, there is some counseling, an allocation for counseling one-on-one as well. And another thing that we do with this program is we don't forget about the partners. We have 2 separate sessions for the partners of the men that join this group, if they want to get together with Susanna Joy and I, just to see if they have any questions they need answered, if they feel like they're in the dark, or if they feel like they're getting help, or just to see how we can support them as well. So we do that twice, and then it will work.
Yes, it's a well-rounded program. You get the whole family ends up being involved.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah. It sounds like even people who maybe their problems aren't running that deep, but yet there are problems. It sounds like most people could benefit from this.
Yeah, I believe so. The material is really, really solid. And
So someone doesn't
also
need
we
to
add
have
some of our own.
a person wouldn't need to have a relationship that's in complete tatters to think that they need to
No,
go to this.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And I always put it down to, it's like when you go to see the doctor, right? You want to make sure that things are okay, so you go see your yearly doctor. We need to do that with relationships. We need to do that with our mental health, our physical health.
Hmm.
And so, and doing something like this, especially when you're at that point where you feel that you're controlling the relationship, it's just like going to a doctor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the benefits that are reaped are that ounce of prevention,
Yeah.
a pound of cure.
Yeah, and I would say, too, you know, I work with a lot of men in my private practice, and, you know, I've had them come and say, you know, the guy's 30 years old, and he says, okay, this is the 4th time I've been through a serious relationship, and it fell apart because of me, so I need to do something different. So those are the kind of men we're looking for, too, because, so if your relationship is just going the wrong way, you could get some help through the STOP program.
Fantastic. So we'll just remind our viewers that that is through the John Howard Society.
Yes,
It's called STOP, and it starts May the 2nd.
starts May the 2nd.
Absolutely.
You
Terrific.
can sign up.
Okay, thanks very much to both
Thank
of you,
Ken.
and thanks for watching Kelowna Now.